It was the night before Christmas, goodnight had been said. Annie and Willie had just crept into bed. There were tears on their pillows and tears in their eyes, and each little heart was heavy with sighs. For tonight their stern father's command had been given that they should retire practically at 7 instead of 8, for they troubled him more, and questions unheard of them never before. He told them he thought this illusion of sin, no such being as Santa Claus had ever been, and he hoped after this he would never more hear how he scrambled down chimney with presents each year. So that was the reason the two little heads so restless tossed on their soft downy bed. 8:90 the clock and the steeple told 10, not a word had been spoken by either until then. When Willie sat face from the blanketed peep and whispered, "Dear Annie, is you fast asleep?" "Why, no, Brother Willie," a sweet voice replied. "I've tried it in vain. I can't shut my eyes. For somehow it makes me so sorry because dear Papa says there is no Santa Claus. But we know that there is, and we can't be denied, for he came every year before Mama died. But then I've been thinking that she used to pray. God would hear everything Mama would say. Well, why can't we pay this as Mama did then and asked him to send him with presents today?" "I've been thinking so too." And without a word more, 4 little bare feet bounced out on the floor. 4 little knees, a soft carpet crest, and 2 tiny hands clasped close to each breast. "Now, Willie, you know you must firmly believe that the presents we ask for we're sure to receive. Now, you wait just as still until I say amen, and with that you'll know that your turn has come then. Please, Jesus, look down on my brother and me, and grant us the favor we're asking of thee. I want a nice doll, a tea set, a ring, and a bone wood box that shuts with a spring. Bless Papa, dear Jesus, and cause him to see that Santa Claus loves us far better than he. Don't let him get fretful and angry again at dear Brother Willie and Annie. Amen." "Please, Jesus, ask Santa Claus to come down tonight and bring us some presents before it's light. I want you to bring me a nice little sled with white shining wonders and all painted red. A box full of candy, a book, and a toy. Amen. And then Jesus, I'll be a good boy." Their prayers being ended, they raised up their heads with hearts light and cheerful against off their bed. They were soon lost in slumber, but peaceful indeed. Like fairies in dreamland, they were soon lost in sleep. 8:09 the clock, and the steeple told 10, or their father had thought of his children again. He seemed now to hear Annie's half-surprised sigh and to see the big tears standing in Willie's blue eye. "I was harsh with my darlings," he mentally said, "and I should not have sent them so early to bed. But just to make sure, I'll still up to their door, for I've never spoken harsh to my darlings before." So saying, he gently ascended the stairs, and he arrived at the door to hear both of their prayers. It was Annie's blessed Papa that drew forth a big tear, and Willie's great promise fell sweet on his ear. Strange, I'd forgotten, said he with a sigh, I long when a child to have Christmas draw nigh. I'll atone for my harshness, he mentally said, by answering their prayers ere I sleep in my bed. He turned to the stairs and softly went down, threw off his velvet slippers and his silk dressing gown, donned hat, coat, and boots, and out on the street, a millionaire face in the cold driving sleet. Nor stopped he until he had bought everything, from the box full of candy to the tiny gold ring. And indeed he kept adding so much to his store, and the fairest presents outnumber a score. Then homeward he turned with his holiday load, and with Aunt Mary's help the nursery was stowed. Miss Dolly was seated beneath the pine tree, beside the table spread out for the tea. The work box well filled, and the center was laid, and on it a ring for which Annie had prayed. A soldier in uniform stood by the sled, with bright shining runners and all painted red. There were bulldogs and horses and books pleasant to see, and birds of all colors perched high in the tree. While Santa Claus laughing stood in the top, as if getting ready more presents to drop. And as the fond father the picture surveyed, he thought for his troubles he had amply been paid. And he said to himself as he brushed off a tear, I'm happier tonight than I've been for a year. I've enjoyed more true pleasure than ever before. What care I if bank stock falls 10% more? Year after I'll make it a rule, I believe, to have Santa Claus visit us each Christmas Eve. So saying, he gently extinguished the light and tripped downstairs to retire for the night. As soon as the beams of the bright morning sun put the darkness about the stars one by one, then four little blue eyes out of their sleep opened wide, and at the same moment their presence they spied. They laughed and they cried in their innocent glee and shouted for Papa to come quick and see just what old Santa Claus had brought in the night, just the things they had wanted and left before light. And now added Annie and Val soft and low, you'll believe there's a Santa Claus, Papa, I know. While dear little Willie climbed up on his knee, determining no secret between them should be. He told in time whispers how Annie had said, their dear blessed mama so long ago dead, used to kneel down and pray beside of her bed, and God answered her prayers. Then we got up and we prayed just as would as we could. God answered our prayers, now wasn't he good? I should say that he was if he brought you all these and you just what your presence my children would please. Well, well, let them think so, dear little elves. Would be cruel to tell them I did it myself. Stern Father, who caused your stern heart to relent. Kind Father, who caused your stern heart to relent. And the hasty words spoken so soon to repent. It was a being who bade him still soft up the stairs, and he made him his agent to answer their prayers. I was about 6 years old.
6 years old.
Some
things you just don't forget.
Thank you, Mama Dot.
Thank you, Mama.
That was good. Glad you enjoyed it. How many wants to learn it now?